Hello and welcome to the Australian CFO Show. I am Adriana Amato. I work at Wheel, Australia's leading spend management system, and I am also the founder of the Australian CFO community. And I am extremely excited to be joined by international businessman Tyler Caskey. Hi, Tyler.
Hello, good to be here.
Thank you very much for joining us. We were just chatting about how you have some sirens in the background. So where are we coming at you from? I don't think that's how
Yeah,
the line goes, but anyway.
I'm in central Chicago, helping a couple friends set up coffee shops number 9 and 10, which is pretty fun.
Oh wow.
Mm.
Are you actually serving the coffee or is there something more
No, I'm doing their QuickBooks, putting them on better expense management, um, all that type of fun stuff, just making sure their books go well.
yeah, nice.
Mm.
And if I was to pick you for a coffee, um I'm gonna guess that you're actually probably a strong flat white.
It's pretty close,
Maybe
pretty close.
maybe oat milk.
Strong latte, any type of milk. I'll take what I
Oof.
can get. Yeah,
Mhm. I do actually quite like to judge people on their coffees. Maybe I'll introduce that as a regular segment.
do it.
All right, so just to get you firing here, um, before we jump into bit more about who you are, what you do, what your expertise is, love to know what your favorite Excel shortcut is.
Yeah, good kickoff for a CFO show. Mine's Alt Plus, which automates the sum function. I think I've taught two or three hundred people this. Thank you, Glenn Bruce, for teaching it to me maybe 20 years ago at Deloitte.
Excellent. All right, we might have to get a little snippet on that later. I'm sure we'll have lots of questions there. And your biggest learning this month.
Um, it's been about client management. I do outsource CFO now, and it's really like I suppose stakeholder management is the best way to do it, is learning how to deal with difficult stakeholders and people that want fixed outcomes when the CFO role is never fixed. So
Mm,
learning how to deliver to their expectations but not let it keep you awake at night.
mm.
Mm.
I had some advice last night.
Hmm.
This may actually not be great for an outsourced CFO, but for me, this is this artist, and he was saying to me, it's really important to work out what's important and what's not important. It took me about a year. I'd just look at myself in the mirror and I'd say, I don't care. And if I
Yeah.
really did care, then I'd know when to put in the effort. And if I didn't, then I wouldn't. But I don't know if
Yeah.
that is actually something that you should be doing at all. Don't do that in your CFO role.
No, it does. It's true. Like the mirror tells no lies, right? Like it's self-talk is important. Like how you speak to yourself, because every job sucks a little bit. It just depends on, what you put your time and money into. That's
Yeah.
the play of life.
Oof. Those are wise words for 9 a.m. Very profound. I'd more expect this sort of over a whiskey at like 2 a.m.
I mean, it's
Um,
6 p.m. for me, but yes.
right.
Mm.
Um, Back in the day when I was actually, I like to tell myself this frequently that I was a lawyer, I may have deleted all of the investment management contracts. So I had all of the traders coming to me and be like, "Can I do this?" I was like, "I don't know." I was like quickly working with IT, trying to get them back. I might have to cut this bit out of the story, but I'm interested for you while we warm up here. What's your biggest oh shit moment or biggest mistake? Make us feel better about ourselves.
Uh, Publicly was in a 44 people, 44 partners meeting at a law firm, and I gave blatantly wrong tax advice. I was the financial controller, and I was talking about trust versus partnership distributions, and just gave the wrong piece of advice, and everyone in the room knew it was the wrong piece of advice except for me. Yeah, that was. I think I was about 28. I learned some things that year. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was that was my feeling.
The
Uh,
sort of thing you wake up at 2 a.m., you're like, oh God, why did I do that? Sort of 5 years on, you're still kind of like cringing from it.
yeah, once I did the maths, like about 2 days later, I was like, it was just, my first time doing trust partnership distributions back in the day where trusts were throwing around hundreds of thousands and millions of dollars everywhere. Took me a bit of
Yeah.
time to realize that it was a capped amount, not a tiered amount per equity percentage. But,
Mm.
live and learn. Also, it didn't matter. Like, now I don't care at all. It didn't impact anything.
All right, getting down to I guess, the nitty gritty, or how we're going to run this into the future. So, for everyone tuning in, the way the CFO show is going to work is we have sort of 4 to 6 domain experts, Tyler Caskey being one of them. And we're just going to take questions from you. So this session's just about getting an overview of Tyler, his area of expertise, and really any questions that you might have for Tyler. Encourage you to send them directly to me, or you can post in the community chat. So as a bit of background, Tyler, could you let us know sort of what your primary area of expertise is?
Yeah, I really focus on automation in the CFO role and how to make your job redundant so you can be a proper CFO. So, my background was business services and audit, but always with a bit of a nous towards optimizing technology and team skills. Like I took a team from about 18 down to 13 during the GFC with, no redundancy, no firing, and an improvement in outputs. And just by utilizing tech and understanding people's strengths and weaknesses better. And, after 12, 13 years in the financial controller or CFO role, I went back into consulting to try to share a bit of knowledge and, help more businesses than just one business, improve their month-end cycle, team size, team management, and engagement of their employees as well.
And is that what you would consider being a proper CFO?
Yeah, your job as a CFO is to do nothing. Like absolutely nothing. You should walk in each morning and have no must have tasks on your hit list. If you do, your job is to fix them, sort them, delegate them. The one I always found hardest was to get rid of the budget, but that's if that's the last thing you let go of, that's okay.
Who then takes over in the budget?
Ideally, you want your best 2IC to be building the budget. It's just a lower value role. Like, if you're paid two, three, four, $500,000, you shouldn't be playing around on small Excel formulas for 10, 20 divisions. And also, it's really good exposure for your 2IC to take over that role. So a really good financial controller or your financial accountant can be really good in those roles as well.
I guess that's good feedback for any of the financial controllers tuning in. Don't be afraid to ask for, to take that over, or maybe have more exposure to the master
Yeah.
budget.
Yeah, like touch it is the play, and especially I've done budgets that took 4 months, and I mean that's 4 months to guess the next 12. It's low value time really, like because it's not are you wrong, it's how wrong are you on day one.
So, supporting businesses with their tech stack, optimizing team management, encouraging sort of the CFO role to evolve. Would you say they're your area of expertise, or is there anything else there that you could add to that?
Yeah, those are my primary three. Um, I look heavily at engagement with other divisions as well and communication. So, for a lot of our outsourced CFO roles, we train the financial controllers how to communicate with marketing, the general manager, for a few of our retail clients, how to work with the head of online, um, and, really developing good relationships with those other mid-level or senior level managers, especially like HR and marketing. Because if you go well with them, like you can really add value to the business. And then the second part of that is how can you be a finance team that's like valued rather than just a cost center? So how can you be good to work with, be not have barbed wire in your pockets, be able to learn what to spend money on and what not to. So being an advancement function of the business rather than something that holds it back. And honestly, for me, usually that's tech and people. So my biggest involvement has always been teaching people when to spend money on tech and when to spend money on people. And there's always that balance, more tech, less people, more
Mm,
people, usually lower quality tech.
mm,
Um, and that's a key part of the CFO role. And also, I suppose the other one is like heavily into cybersecurity. So how can you train your team and your people to just not have bad expenses? And I suppose that's where Wheel comes in. That my biggest fraud has always been people's getting emails hacked or credit
mm.
card fraud. One of my clients had pretty big company credit card fraud 2 or 3 years ago. And, those types of things, it's because the transactions are analyzed 30, 40, 60, worst case, 90 days later. Um, so if people have daily transaction, coding of their, credit cards and transactions, then much more likely that you're going to pick up errors.
Mm. Back to your first comment there about, how to work closely with the other areas of the business. I think that that's so key in an area I'm really passionate about. I'm from the other side. I mean, I work in our
Mm,
growth and marketing team, and having a great relationship with our CFO is perfection for me because it really pushes me. I understand why we're spending money, what's important for the CFO and for the board. And I think that it really makes you better at, all of your other job, your job. So I think if, I'd love to jump into that, maybe in a later session. And I'd love to
mm,
hear from the audience if that's something that they'd like to learn more about.
yeah.
Tyler, wrapping up to the end, I'm just interested to know, you know, from what you're seeing, what are some of the challenges your clients are seeing these days?
Yeah, honestly, I think number one at the moment is payroll. Um, for any business, 20, 30, 40 people and above, payroll's becoming a problem. It's very hard to recruit, especially if you're over that 100 or over 1,000. The technology choices, I think, are very broad, but
Mm,
also very hard to compare until we actually into the system. And the risks are very high. So,
mm,
I'm definitely seeing payroll as a high area. I think it's the number one recruitment area at the moment. So if you're a recruiter in payroll, like I've seen payroll recruiters with 10 jobs listed, and they're six
wow.
figures and above for most of them.
I need to get into payroll.
No, you don't. It's a rough job. Like it's a rough job because
Yeah,
high risk, low
yeah.
reward, high expectations. Um, yeah, payroll is something I'm looking at. Everyone's talking AI, but I think in the finance world we are still, working in the automation side. I love that AI is finishing my sentences now and then, but really for me, we need to be looking at we need to be looking at improving the matching, and that's what Wheel does. Like I like when money is paid or money is received, I want as many automatic ticks as I possibly can. And that's
Mm,
how I'm judging finance teams at the moment. Uh, if of 100 of your transactions, how many are auto matched and how many are ruled and those types of things.
mm,
Um, and then the last one for me is about, I suppose, team engagement. Since all the lockdowns, we've found like quite a big change in the movability of the people after CA. So instead of staying 10 years in one role, they're really looking at changing honestly every 1, 2, 3 years. And I love
mm,
that. Like that's how I developed my career and my experience and my understanding of multiple markets.
mm,
And I think that learning how to be a good recruiter as a CFO, learning how to find good people, um, really understanding that you can't just be looking for people the moment you need someone. You need to be building up a wealth of
mm,
networks, which is really challenging for CFOs because naturally we can be a bit insular, but
mm,
having a good LinkedIn community, having a good connections with recruiters, that can always really help.
mm. Yeah, that's great advice. All right. Well, thank you so much, Tyler. That's been fantastic. I'm looking forward to you sharing more of your knowledge over the coming months. Again, a reminder to anyone if they've got any questions, just chuck a comment on the CFO community platform or send me an email. Tyler, I will let you get back to your Sunday evening in Chicago. I don't know what that looks like, but maybe go have some tasty snacks.
I'm
Um,
about to go meeting to meeting on with an accounting firm and a payroll install. But that's part of the
hmm,
deal. You know, if you're in another country, you've got to adapt. But
yeah,
on my side, on that community platform, jump on. It's really cool. It's easy. It takes about 2 minutes to log in and get in. So jump in, and I'll be on there as well.
awesome. Thanks very much.